Hi, I'm Michelle Greenwell with CanBeWell, and I'm here to introduce to you our Vice President and one of the ladies that's headed up our website committee, as well as many of the things in public relations. So I'd like to introduce you to Linda Easthouse.
Hi, thanks, Michelle. I'm very glad to be here today. I come to CanBeWell from a long history of working in natural disciplines of different kinds. For the last 18 years, I have been involved in natural bioenergetics, which used to be called health kinesiology, but we changed our name 5 years ago because of the legal milieu in Canada, and we are now natural bioenergetics. And that is a much better name for us as a discipline because of what we do. And what we do is actually quite different from many of the other disciplines in that we are working directly in the meridian system, using the muscles as a way to monitor and gain biofeedback, as opposed to working in the muscles to affect the meridians. And so we kind of come at it through the back door, go directly into the meridian system first, and use the muscles as a biofeedback loop for us. We do also work directly in the muscles for certain things when we're working in body bioenergetics, which allows us to work directly in the nervous and muscle systems as well. So we have a kind of a two-pronged approach into things, but the great majority of it works in the meridian system and in the 5-element theory that has been developed over the years by many different people. I joined CanBeWell, used to be you-know-what, probably 6 or 7 years ago, and was not very involved for the first long time. And then as I took the position of director of the Natural Bioenergetics Institute in Canada, working in redeveloping our entire curriculum process so that it would be modernized, updated, and ready to use on an online system, then I felt the need to be much more involved in the professional organization and to look at all of the various things in terms of how we interrelate with all of the other people in the field, and to really work within the community to make sure that the whole community around this kind of bioenergetic wellness was being supported by what we do and that we were being supported by it. We have seen over the years many different kinds of therapies come and go because they didn't have that kind of community and professional association and backing and interconnection with the whole bioenergetic community. And so we as a group felt it was really important to be more involved in that. So I accepted a board position when Greg Webb asked me to do that. And it has been quite a journey since. Of course, I came on just before everything blew up. So was there for all the fireworks and had lots of time working through that. But I think the process and the investment and the commitment of the people involved really shows you the depth and the strength of an organization like this. And so Natural Bioenergetics is very proud to be a part of this organization and to have some input at the board level, and encourage our members to all join, and encourage our members to join committees and be involved, not just be a sideline to it. The work that I do, I see clients one-on-one. I do a lot of distance work. I actually spend most of my time in Mexico, sitting here watching the beach across the way out of my window here, and enjoying the rhythm of a slightly different kind of life down here. However, I spend a great deal of time also in British Columbia and Alberta teaching and seeing clients there as well, so I do a lot of traveling. My primary role is curriculum development with the Natural Bioenergetics Institute. I'm the director there, and we are looking at how to turn this kind of work into something that can be learned online, not as an independent program where you just watch the videos, but rather through live video classes, because we really feel like the apprenticeship aspect of it is very important and the hands-on aspect of it is very important. And yet we recognize many of our students come from all over the world, come from many rural areas in Canada, come from places where to go out to a 4-day course is a very expensive proposition because you're paying an expensive air flight and hotels and all the rest of it. And so we wanted to make it more accessible to everyone. We wanted to make it more doable for people in small communities and people who may not come from traditional backgrounds. We're looking at ways to make it much more doable for First Nations communities, where people could train and then work within their own communities and provide some of these more natural approaches and energetic wellness in their communities where it's so desperately needed. So that's kind of my aspect of it, is looking at curriculum development and update. But I also spend a lot of time mentoring students. We really feel like this is not something where you just learn once and carry on, but that it's really important that there be that community, and that there be times when students get together and have an opportunity to talk and ask questions and see how different people do things and learn sort of more in their ongoing professional life. We all need that as professionals, and that's something that we want to provide for everyone. We also realize that there are a lot of people who take this kind of stuff just for their own wellness, for their own encouragement, for their own use, and they too need a community. They need somewhere where they can learn new things, where they can refresh their learning, where they can have other people to talk to. And so some of the initiatives that the board has done over the last little while in terms of the community chats and the webinars and so on, I think are really important that we get more members involved in, because it's part of what keeps people coming back for more. It's part of what keeps people actively using it. If you don't ever have a little bit of a refresh, a little bit of encouragement, after a while you just kind of quit doing things, and even the best intentions of self-care go by the way when there's nobody to kind of encourage you to carry on the routines. And so I think a lot of the initiatives that the board is working on to really get more members involved in these kinds of things are really, really important. And that's one of the roles that I see for myself on the board, is really encouraging that kind of stuff, and encouraging people to keep growing and keep learning and keep connected and keep part of the community, because that's really where our strength lies. My role on the board, I see myself as a systematizer, as an organizer, as someone who looks at things from logical flow, from efficiency points of view. And I think that part of my role is to help ensure that we're doing things in a very systematic, reasoned, logical, purposeful way, rather than just responding to issues or problems or questions, but rather rolling out something that's moving us forward intentionally, and being really intentional in what we do. And being on the board has been great. It's been a huge amount of work. Don't want to scare anybody off, but we did go through kind of a crisis at the beginning when I first got on, so there was a lot more work than normal. But things are settling down, and it's coming into a much more doable, sort of normal routine for a board, and I'm very grateful for that. But on the other hand, we accomplished a huge amount with the time we spent there, and the board members have all become friends. We really encourage and enjoy each other and work together well. And I think the variety of viewpoints, the different approaches, the ways that we come at it from our own skill base, come together to create a really effective, functional board. And I'm very happy to work on that. And I think volunteering on the subcommittees or even for the board is a wonderful way to develop your own professional career and to move yourself forward, because it makes you look at so many things, and it makes you think about what you're doing, and it makes you really examine the process and examine why you do what you do and the way you do it. And it makes you much more intentional as a specialist or as a instructor, or in whatever role you see yourself, that you become more intentional and more clear in how you're doing what you're doing, because you have feedback from other people who can provide some light and some mirror and some aspects to you that are difficult to do on your own. And so being on the board has been a big benefit to me as well, and I hope I've been a benefit to the board, and look forward to continue serving.
That's great, Linda. Thank you so much. And we hope that as the members look at some of these interviews, they're really able to see the quality and the depth of the relationships that we do establish by volunteering and being present together. And it has been great to share the time that we have shared on the board. So thank you.
Thank you.